That's not focused. There we go. Good evening and welcome to the Rory Talks Football channel. Thank you for coming back. Please do subscribe if you are new. People in the chat already, good to see you, good to see you. It's been a hectic day. I'm half an hour early because I need to get out for the FA Youth Cup final this evening. The under-18s at the Emirates. Very much looking forward to it. The stream should be starting now if you're on YouTube. I'm hoping it has anyway. Busy day. Was just reading the email that we got from Arsenal about changes to next season. Look at that. I've been allowed in to get rid of them. I've been allowed into the website. Noel Delaney has a question. Let me know your question, Noel. It's frantic. It's frantic. Granit Xhaka, we're going to be talking about him. I've got everything from the Arteta press conference today. Most of it isn't good. Updates from Pep Guardiola. Except there's no updates from Pep Guardiola because the journalists at Man City don't even ask him about the injuries at Man City. Rory, what would your starting 11 for tomorrow be? I will get into that as well. So there's this new red membership thing. Basically, the way we get tickets next year is going to change. I don't know if that's going to be a change for the good or a change for the bad. I'll be honest, I'm not entirely... what do you call it? I'm not entirely optimistic about how it's going to go. Put it that way. But look, let's get into the press conference. Mikel Arteta, obviously he was asked about Saliba's injury. Again, he said there's been no real improvement, unfortunately for him. So we are still waiting. We're still hopeful, but obviously it's another week that's gone by and he hasn't been able to train with the team. He was then asked about the injury itself, and he said, I'll leave that to the doctors to explain to you, which is very easy when he knows full well that the doctors aren't going to come out and explain it to us. So we don't know what Saliba's, we know it's his back, but we don't know what technically is wrong. And it is quite frustrating, but it is what it is. He was then asked about Granit Xhaka's availability. He said, Granit has been out. Hopefully he'll be able to train today, but he's still a doubt. So he was then asked if there are any other injury doubts, and he said, no, the rest are okay. But so basically, Granit Xhaka hasn't trained since before Southampton, and they were hopefully trained today, but he's still a doubt. Now, I'll be honest, I'm going to say he'll play. If it's just illness, like normal illness, I feel like he'll be able to play through it. It's not ideal, though. It's not ideal because you want, really, even if he does play, you want him to be absolutely... feeling perfectly fine and not under the weather. We are unaware of whether Xhaka has trained today or not. Yeah, we don't know if he trained today or not. He was asked about picking apart the mistakes from the Southampton draw. He said human errors. Players make a lot of brilliant decisions, but they also make mistakes. The areas where you don't make mistakes probably define the extent or the consequences of the mistakes. And obviously where we made those mistakes, we were punished heavily. He said he was asked about looking at the errors we've made recently. He said we have made errors, but we've managed to win games. Those errors probably get a little bit resolved, but we have had some of them where we've managed to do that. But yes, especially in certain areas, you have to minimize as much as possible because the margins then become much smaller. Rory, Chelsea dropped a new Mudryk chant. It goes Chelsea, Chelsea, Chelsea. Joe Madaford, let's accept the title is gone and get ready for next season. No. I will not accept that it's over. I have seen bigger miracles happen in football than us going to the Etihad tomorrow and getting a result. It is possible. There's lots of stuff after that from Arteta about belief and mentality and stuff like that. He was asked whether this is his second biggest game. He said, very big. Let's say it's a very big game because it's the one that we have to play tomorrow. And then he was just asked about drowning out the noise. When he last spoke to Pep Guardiola, he said probably the last time we played. On whether Guardiola's been in touch with him this week, he said no. We plan to deal with Erling Haaland. Now, obviously, he's not gone, well, Rob Hold's going to do it. But he said, obviously, we've worked on their threat as well as we have worked on their weaknesses, and we know where they are. The issue with City is that they start with the goalkeeper. They're a threat when the ball is with him. You have to control every single player. We just focus on us. We know what we want to do, yada, yada, yada. On whether the game against Man City is winner takes all, he said, no, I don't think so. If we win tomorrow night, we haven't won the league, that's for sure. And he's right. We could win tomorrow and still throw it away in games like, Newcastle away, for example. We need to be positive. Who have they got to deal with? Saka, Ake injured? Well, we don't actually know if Ake is injured. For some unknown reason, the journalists from Man City, from Manchester, in Pep Guardiola's press conference, didn't ask a single question about whether or not Ake was injured. In fact, they didn't ask any questions about the fitness of any players. They basically just kept prompting Guardiola to praise Mikel Arteta. It was a terrible press conference. So we don't actually know if they're going to be without Nathan Ake. And then he goes on and on. I mean, it was a long press conference, to be fair, but a lot of it was kind of waffly and not that interesting. But I guess the main thing here is about Granit Xhaka and whether or not Granit Xhaka plays. And I guess then we talk about the starting 11. And I said today, I don't know what the answer to our starting 11 is, but I know the answer is not playing the same back four that we played in the last 3 games, because it's not working. But I don't know what the answer is. So, but I think for me, I'd be more annoyed if we play the same back four that we know doesn't work and lose than if we try and do something else and lose. At least if we try and do something else, at least we've tried. At least we've tried. Whereas I feel like I know what's going to happen if we play the same back four again. If Arteta was sacked at the end of the season and Ancelotti was brought in, how would you react? I'd be absolutely gutted. If Arteta got sacked, I mean, the thing is, it's not just about the starting 11 that he's built. It's not just about, it's the whole club. He's completely restructured the club from absolute top to bottom. And I don't even know if, Ancelotti's an exceptional manager, but right now the whole club is in Arteta's hands, and I think that's important. Do you think Saka should play right back? No, absolutely not. He hasn't really ever played right back. He's played left back before, but Saka's our biggest, or one of our biggest, attacking threats. He has to be in the attack. New ticketing process for Red members next season. Indeed. Thank you. If you want to bang the Ancelotti drum, go and watch League Gunner. Yeah, exactly. Xhaka should play, just touch every player, make them ill. Maybe play him as a right wing back in a back 3. But again, I feel like changing the whole formation up. I don't know. It's not for me. Do you think Trossard should be replaced for Saka? It's tricky with Trossard. I do think he probably deserves to play. I just don't know where to get him in. Was just an opinion because I can't stand holding, or can stand holding. I think you meant can't stand holding. Yeah, no, I do. Look, I get that we have to try and figure out some way of replacing holding. I just don't know what it is. Register interest in a game. Name goes in a hat. If the name's pulled out of the hat, you get a ticket for next season. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work. I do know how it's going to work, but I don't know if it will work well. It makes sense, but then it's one of two things, right? So they have to make it so that Red members can put their tickets onto the ticket exchange. They have to keep the ticket exchange. They have to make it so that Red members can put their ticket on the ticket exchange. They also, it will stop bots, but then will it stop bots? Because how many of these, if you can just set up 100,000 accounts and put them all in the ballot, then have you really stopped the bots? Like, these bots just churn through account after account after account. If you make loads and loads and loads, there's a few things that they have to do. One, they have to make it so that to get an account, you have to have some sort of verified ID. In the same way as when you create a gambling account, for example, they have to verify your ID. They need to do that for Arsenal membership, for starters, so that because the bots just churn through accounts, and if they do that, then they can just all get into the hat and give themselves 100 times better chance of getting a ticket. They also need to make it so that the ticket exchange is available for everyone to put their tickets up. So currently, you can only list your ticket on the exchange if you're a season ticket holder. which is poor. I'm actually confident of getting a big result tomorrow. Delusional naivety, I'm not sure. I think we can get a draw. I really do think we can get a draw. I don't think that's a crazy stretch. Arteta has always had a lot of faith in his players, so unfortunately I can see Holding starting tomorrow, possibly. Is it time to recall Maitland-Niles? We can't recall Maitland-Niles at this point, and he's going to leave for free in the summer. So, unfortunately not. Pretty sure Red members can put tickets on the exchange next season. Not 100% sure. They should be able to. Otherwise, that system's not going to work. Because every member is going to put their name in the hat for every match to give themselves the best opportunity of getting tickets. But there will be Red members that put their name into the hat and then can't go when it actually comes down to it. It's also... I hope, and I don't know if there will be a way of doing this, but I hope they somehow weight it so that if you've not been given a ticket for quite a long time, you almost get weighted so that it's more likely that you will get given a ticket at some point. Because pot luck, you could end up just getting absolutely shafted and just never getting pulled out of the hat. I mean, it would be interesting to know if they know how many people apply for or try and get tickets when they go on sale. When do you start streaming? Because I missed the first 10. Yeah, sorry, I started. Normally it's 5 p.m. It's almost always 5 p.m. But I had to start at 4:30 today because the FA Cup final at the Emirates kicks off at 7, so I need to get away by 5. To sort myself out. Only got 1 ticket this season for the Newcastle game. Luck's been absolutely shocking. Yeah, almost all of mine have come off the ticket exchange. If Xhaka doesn't play tomorrow, who would you expect to play instead? I don't know. Not Fabio Vieira is the answer. It wouldn't surprise me if we had a double pivot with Jorginho. Ross is going to be at the game tonight. Rory, have you ever thought about doing a show with Deluded Guna? You're both quite cool-headed and reasonable. Will probably be a great conversation. No, but I'm up to having conversations and that sort of thing with anyone and everyone, to be fair, even if it's League Gunner, you've got to have conversations. Have you got any from General Sale after the World Cup? Only one, and crazily, it was Man United, which was a massively competitive one to get. But yeah, Man United is the only game I've got when they've gone on General Sale since the World Cup. Should Smith Rowe be starting instead of Vieira? Yes, but also they've got to be a reason that Arteta isn't doing it. And I feel like in a game against Man City, Jorginho might be better anyway. So what's going on with Saliba and Xhaka? Saliba is out still. He's probably out for the rest of the season. And Xhaka is ill. He hasn't trained at all since before Southampton. Arteta said he hopes he plays today, but trains today, but he's still a doubt. So yeah, that's the situation with Xhaka and with Saliba at the moment. Anyway, it is a shorter stream today because I've got to get away by 5. Jorginho or Zinchenko should play CM tomorrow, possibly. Realistically, do you feel we'll be in a title race next season? This close, I mean. I see no reason why we shouldn't be. I see no reason why we shouldn't be, especially if we have a big summer window. Do you think we should try one of Zinni or Tierney at right back? If it was going to be either of them, it would have to be Zinni. I don't think you can play Tierney at right back with his sort of lack of comfort. No, we are going to get a guest Laguna today. Just a quick one on Ivan Fresneda, who is, for those of you who don't know, Ivan Fresneda is a right back. He's 18 years old. Playing at Real Sociedad. 18-year-old right back playing at Real Sociedad. We were interested in him in January. We were going toe-to-toe with Borussia Dortmund, and it seemed like one of us was going to get him for about 15 million. Sorry, Real Valladolid, not Sociedad. And in the end, he didn't make the move to either team. But today, this is coming from, Fabrizio Romano tweeted it, but I think it was in The Athletic. He said, I like Arteta a lot because I think he's a great coach. He said, I follow the European leagues. I think the work Arteta is doing with his club is fantastic. He says, as everyone knows, in the end, there was no offer in the winter, which is interesting because I think most people thought that there were offers for Fresneda in January. But it turns out that there weren't. But Arsenal and Dortmund are still interested. So, yeah, one to keep on the radar. I think we all know that we probably need a backup right back for Ben White. So that's the latest on Ivan Fresneda. And now it is time for Guess the Gooner. The game where I give you an ex or current Arsenal player's career path without the Arsenal part of it. So you don't know whether they're still at Arsenal or whether they started at Arsenal or whatever. And of course, the pride goes to the person in the YouTube chat who gets it first. Who won it yesterday? George? Was it George won it yesterday? I apologize. I can't remember. But you're about to lose the badge of pride unless you win it again. So this player started at Lubusnanin Dresneko. They then went to Sparta Brodnica. They then went to Mieszko Gniezno. They then went to Lech Poznan, Legia Warsaw, Swansea, and West Ham. And Craig McIntyre is the first person to get it in the YouTube chat. Lots of people have got it on TikTok as well. It is indeed current West Ham goalkeeper, Lucas Fabianski. Well done to Craig McIntyre. We had shouts of Podolski, Rosicky, Lichtsteiner, but it is indeed Lucas Fabianski. I did butcher the couple of Polish names of those clubs. But obviously, I think Swansea and West Ham would have been the giveaway in the end. Congratulations to Craig McIntyre for 24 hours. The pride is yours. Mine has me ahead of Craig, lol, but well played, Craig. Yeah, no, on mine you were third, Ross. On mine, it is Craig, followed by Joe Madderford, followed by Ross. So there you go. Unfortunate. Tom Burton, yes, Rory, hope you're doing well. What updates you got for me today? Not great updates. Saliba is definitely out for a long time, and Xhaka might also not play tomorrow. He is still a doubt. He hasn't trained since before Southampton. And now for the Guess the Non-Gooner. Guess the Non-Gooner. This is a hard one. I will level with you. So this player, this is their full career path. Never played at Arsenal. Real Oviedo, Celta Vigo B, Celta Vigo, Rayo Vallecano, Swansea, on loan to Napoli, and then UP Langreo and Real Oviedo. And Joe Madderford has got it. And the YouTube chat, I've got it before the TikTok chat, which is very impressive. Aaron's the first person on TikTok to get it. It is indeed Michu. What a player. Nice to meet you. Just iconic. Just an iconic season at Swansea. What would it be in 2015, 15, 16? Daniel says his is at the top. No, on mine, unfortunately, it is, fortunately or unfortunately, it is Joe Madderford who got it first. Daniel Iqbal was second, and no one else got it. So it is Michu. What a man. Genuinely, he has to rank up there as one of, if not the biggest, one-season wonder in the Premier League. How is Patino doing? I think he's doing all right. Blackpool aren't doing well, so it's always hard to judge when the club isn't doing well. But I think he's doing all right. I think he should be at a Premier League club, Charlie Patino, next season. I think he should either be at... I think he should be at one of the clubs that comes up. Tom McFadden says we need Fresneda, Rice, and Ndika, preferably, and if possible, a more stable number 9. I agree with Rice 100%. Fresneda, I've not seen a huge amount of, but it would be fine if he was coming in as a backup right back. Evan Ndika, I agree with less. He's left-footed, so obviously we already bought in Kivior as the backup left-footed centre back. And he's also demanding very high wages, which is why they're struggling to get a team for him to go to. I think he's going to Borussia Dortmund. Patino at Burnley on loan. Yeah, I think Burnley would be a great one. Hello, Diarmuid Knox. Get me a goalkeeper who can save a penalty, not to replace Ramsdale, just to bring on for a shootout. Yeah, Ramsdale's ability to save penalties is... I don't know if he just gets unlucky or... I don't know. Sousa, Walters, Nwaneri, Kozia Dubry, future is so bright. Yeah, it is. It is. Looking forward to seeing them play tonight as well. What will be interesting is whether Rua Walters plays tonight. Obviously, he's played a lot of the games for the under-18s, but with the game tomorrow, if he's expected to be in the senior squad, which he has been, it will be interesting to see if he plays tonight. Thoughts on Man City having the second highest attendance this season in the Prem by percentage? It's just made up numbers. It's just made up numbers. It's impossible to get an Arsenal ticket. So, like, Arsenal tickets 100% sell out. The problem is that they sell to touts. But who was your biggest flop to ever wear the Arsenal jersey? The biggest flop to ever wear the Arsenal jersey. I guess for the money, Pepe comes close. But there have been some woeful signings over the years. Remember Dennis Suarez? Remember, it doesn't really count as much of a flop, money on him, but remember Dennis Suarez? I don't think Fabio Vieira is a flop yet. No, Rule Walters is generally he's a right back, Tom, but he has played as a centre back for the under-18s. In fact, for most of the games for the under-18s this season, I think he's played as a centre back. Are the Ashburton Army going to the women's UCL game? I've got no idea. I don't know what the Ashburton Army's plans are. Your percentage on us winning the league? I'd say about 10% at this point. Say about 10%. Game predictions for tonight or for tomorrow? For tomorrow, I'm going for 1-1. Xhaka out for tomorrow. We don't know, but he is a doubt according to Arteta. He hasn't trained since before Southampton. They're hoping he trains today, but we don't know. Favorite manager other than Arteta and Pep in the Prem? Probably De Zerbi. Oh, Thomas Frank, actually. I really like Thomas Frank. Could try Walters at right back and White at centre back. I don't think we'll bring in Walters. Bringing in an academy player at this stage of the season is, I don't think it will happen. Do you think Saliba will be fit by the start of next season? I bloody hope so. I hope so. It'd be a nightmare if he's not. What's your starting 11 for tomorrow with injuries and form considered? So for me, it would be Ramsdale in goal, Ben White right back, Kivior right centre back, Gabriel left centre back, and then Zinchenko, and then Partey, Xhaka, Ødegaard, Saka, Jesus, and Martinelli. For me, Jesus just gets in over Trossard purely based on his ability to hold the ball up if we go long. At the Etihad, sometimes you just got to go long to avoid that press. And if you are going long with Trossard up top, you're basically just giving up possession immediately. Whereas, I know Kivior is left-footed, but he's comfortable on both feet, which is why he's not been. Yeah, he's played CDM before. He's comfortable on both feet, and he's the only player we've got with the pace that I think we can still play the same sort of system that we play when Saliba plays. It would be a risk. Of course, it would be a risk. He's not looked great when he's played so far, but I would take the risk. Interesting. Have a good evening. Got a night shift tonight. Enjoy your night shift. What was your percentage of us winning the league before the Southampton game? About 50%. About 50%. The 2 points we dropped against Southampton were huge. I am going to the game tonight. Yeah, I'll be at the game tonight. Which is why this stream is earlier than usual and is about to end. I would have Zinni left back. I wouldn't have Zinni left back. He keeps leaving us exposed at the back. Yeah, but the problem is that when you have Tierney at left back, we don't dominate the midfield battle. That's the problem. So 3 back with Kivior at left, Gabriel in the middle, and White at right, I assume you mean. Possibly. I'm not a huge fan of moving to 5 at the back. Is Diaz the best centre-back in the world? Is Diaz the best centre-back in the world? I honestly think John Stones is better than him, truthfully. Hi from TikTok. Good to see you, Riley. Good to see you. The link in my bio on TikTok is currently a football app, a new social media app called Spring Chat. If you want to download it, it's quite cool. It breaks you out into sort of conversation rooms during football matches. It highlights tweets from Twitter that are good. It's a cool app, I got to say. Think Diaz better centre back, but Stones is more versatile. Yeah, I could see that point. And I don't know, people are so stupid. Start blaming Zinni now. He have made us dominate in our games. Yeah, I think what Zinni adds to our team in terms of the way we dominate the midfield, the way we dominate matches with him, is far more valuable than occasionally losing a one-on-one defensively, for sure. How many goals will Haaland get in the Prem? This season or forever? Why not try playing Zinni in a deeper lying Xhaka role and play Tierney left back? Would allow them to double up on Mahrez. It's possible. It's possible. We've not seen that at all yet. We've never seen Tierney and Zinchenko both playing. Arteta's only win over Pep was with a back three worth a go. True. Goals this season, I think Haaland will end up on 35, 36. Been watching the content for a while now. Just got to say, love your pace. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Look, that is going to be the end of the YouTube live stream. As I said, I've got to get away, got to get to the under-18s game. If you're going to be there this evening, I hope you enjoy it. I hope we win. I hope the atmosphere is good. If you're not going to be there, then I don't know if there's a stream for it anywhere online. But either way, have a fantastic evening. And I'll be back tomorrow it might be an earlier one tomorrow as well, because I've then got to get away to AFTV for the Man City game. But I will tweet out when I'm live, as always. And yeah, goodbye.